Salutations, kindred spirits, and hey, I'll introduce you to our guests literally in 1 minute. I was poking around his YouTube earlier today and I saw this video clip that, as they say, a picture speaks 1,000 words. Well, here's a bunch of pictures that I think describe Warpo. When I see this, I think this guy's been around. French Quarter legend, one of my best friends for the better part of over 30 years, which is mind-boggling. 30 plus.
Yep.
What?
Really
a kind soul, a funny human, a great artist. More importantly to me, a weirdo. That's my first qualification for the humans I hang out with.
Indeed.
You have to be a unique individual. Warpo meets all of those requirements. And folks, it's a pleasure to have him here today. What's up, buddy? Hey.
Great to be here.
I don't think we hugged earlier today. I picked you up in the car and you just got in. And
yeah. Not while I'm a hugging person, cars just it's difficult.
I mean, I could have been more chivalrous and opened the door and maybe even a kiss, but nah, I don't do that anymore. So welcome to my YouTube experience. I couldn't be happier to bring you here into the house from the French Quarter.
Yeah, I don't get out much.
These days you don't.
No.
You stay in the we call it the Wizards Tower. It's a couple blocks off Jackson Square, the hub of the French Quarter. How long have you been there in that spot?
I've lived there 23 years. I moved in May of 2000.
May of 2000.
Yeah.
So look, I had this picture. We're gawking at this Phoenix right before the show. Let's see. He says, I can't believe that's Doug in the thumbnail. Yeah, this is Doug Kahn and Warpo circa 1999. What year is this?
Probably 98.
98.
The shop opened in December of 97. We hung the sign, and so that was probably early 98.
And when you say the shop, this is Warpo's Magic Shop in the French Quarter. And I work the counter along with Jimmy Talks a Lot, Tom Britton, who's been on this show, Lori, Warpo's daughter, and I hope she gets to see this show. Hey, Lori, how you doing? If you do.
And Nemo.
Oh, Nemo Purette, yeah. And look, I had three hairs back then.
Yeah, when I met you, you had a whole bunch of it.
Yeah, well, originally I did.
Yeah.
When would that have been? When did you meet me? Whoops.
That was probably in 90. You just got into town from Chicago.
90.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that would have been right after I got here in 89. So we met right, you've been probably...
I lived the third floor above Checkpoint Charlie's, and I moved in there in late 89.
And you were pitching Svengali decks at that time. You were traveling with Luigi.
Yeah.
Yeah, you had
well, every once in a while we travel, but we set up at the French Market.
The French Market, which is a flea market situation in the French Quarter. You did that for years?
Yeah, 5 or 6 probably.
Yeah. Challenging environment, but you're your own boss and you're doing what you love, I assume.
I actually didn't look at it as that challenging most of the time.
No,
the French Market was different back then to the lot, as opposed to being under the shed, the expensive places to rent booze. The lot was full of people that did art and tie-dye and junk dealers if you wanted to buy.
I do recall that time. But I think of just in general performing magic outside, and especially environments where you're trying to sell magic. You got to stock things and it's an outdoor environment. But you're a grizzled veteran of the pitch. So maybe for you, that's a walk in the park. Like, I know where I'm showing up every day.
Well, working with David Walker for 12 years, pretty much on the road. So all over the country, and you're never in a place that you know anybody. So it's not like you have that cushion to fall back on. All you have are each other. And even in that case, when you've been in the car, on the job, and in the motel room, you don't always necessarily
Let's-
want to be around that person.
Oh yeah, it's like being in a band, right?
But it's
So you mentioned the name, and I'd like to talk about this guy since you said it. David Walker.
Mhm.
He's kind of a legendary guy for pitching in general, but he did quite well with Svengali decks.
He started in 1949. For a while, he partnered with Harry Lorraine.
Harry Lorraine.
And along
That's
with
right.
pitching the cards, they also set up a partnership mind reading act. And at one point, they'd opened for both Lenny Bruce and Billie Holiday.
Whoa.
Yeah. So, to know the guy that is teaching me was doing that shit back in 1949. I was very fortunate. I
say it a lot. The value of a good mentor. Hey, let's take a look at you doing some Svengali stuff. I had another clip I'd pulled up, and let's see. Take a little look at you doing the pitch. Is it on there? All we really have to do is look at this picture. This is Warpo. I guess this is like mid-pitch. What is this, like 5 minutes of your pitch? This is in the middle of it, kind of, where it starts?
Yeah, I don't know where it is there because
It's right at the beginning of the clip here, and let's just start it.
Okay.
So,
Watch.
look
Have you
at
had
the-
a deck like this? Okay, see that helps. Watch. And you're Alyssa too, right? It's the old. Give me your left hand. I will. Alyssa's still going to do.
where is this, Warpo?
Listen.
that's at the Duct
Alyssa,
Tape
I want you to hold the
Festival
cards in your
in
fist like
Ohio, and I
Tight
forget
so you
what
don't
city
drop
in
them. Nothing
Ohio,
gets in, nothing
but I
gets out.
do remember
Alyssa,
it
with your
was
other
the Duct
thumb,
Tape
Flip
Festival.
through there so your thumb touches the.
Pause this for a minute. You put the Svengali deck in the spectator's hand.
Yes, I do.
This is something you don't see done that often. So you're demonstrating the trick deck, and you hand it to this young lady to operate herself.
Fist like this. Tight so you don't drop them. Nothing gets in, nothing gets out. Alyssa, with your other thumb, flip through there so your thumb touches the backs of the cards and tell us what you see in the deck.
7 of hearts.
All sevens. Now watch. Melissa, hold them like you are, but flip them the other way so your thumb touches the faces. You got it. Other way. Yeah, there you go. All different? Yeah, now make them sevens again. I'm resting. One lesson. She's already a wizard. Here's how to
One
win the
lesson. She's already a lizard. A wizard.
So, but not from a performing standpoint, but from a sales standpoint. That moment within the pitch, okay, it's like she's obviously not a magician.
Yeah, right.
And everybody looks and sees that this person, the first time it's in their hands, is able to make them all one, all the same card and all different the first time they've ever touched them. And from a sales standpoint, that lets everybody know that, yeah, my 10-year-old can do that. My 11-year-old can do that. Mom, can I get that? She can do it. So
As we talk about this thing, this Svengali deck, for the dozens in attendance and the thousands that might watch this clip and not know what a Svengali deck is, would you do something with a Svengali deck? Did I ask you that?
well, yeah, you just did.
Would you do a trick with the Svengali deck?
well,
It could be anything, really. I just think maybe we should do a trick with it so people know.
We'll do the opening trick.
Okay.
We'll take a brand new deck. It's never seen daylight, nightlight, flashlight, Israelite, Bud Light, candlelight, or moonlight if you happen to be a romantic. These are jokes. Just find one that I can chuckle every
Like I
once in
haven't
a
heard
while.
this 8,000
That's it.
times.
Before we get started, I do want to point out that it looks like an ordinary deck to your friends. It's not. It's a mechanical trick deck, and it's made so anyone can do the tricks without any brain skill, practice, or ability, which is pretty much why I demonstrate. Now you laugh. Yeah, for the first trick, and I call it that because it's the trick we do first. For the first trick, we're going to take the top card of the deck, and in this case, the 8 of clubs. Watch, we'll take the 8, we'll place it right here on the table. I'll cover it with another deck so it doesn't blow away. It gets windy in this studio. So, Doug, if you would, I'll flip through. I just want you to pick up any card that falls into my hand. We'll do the trick with Doug's card, and then we'll show how it works. Well, actually, we won't. We'll move on to other stuff.
Yeah,
But
I'm in
Doug,
trouble with exposing right now.
reach in
No
and pick
exposing.
up a card, please.
I'm gonna take this one.
Thank you. What is the card? You can say it out loud.
Jack of Hearts.
Jack of Hearts. Watch. The object of this trick is to take Doug's Jack of Hearts. We're going to make it trade places with the card under the box. Here's how you do that. You push it through the box. Do you see it go?
Yes.
He's a bigger liar than I am. Watch, I want to point out that Doug's card, that Jack of Hearts, is no longer in the deck, that it is gone, it has vanished, it has disappeared. I also want to point out that I do have the 8 of clubs, so it cannot be under the box. Could you turn that card over, please? Thank you. There's your Jack of Hearts. And this is where I normally give a pseudo explanation of how that works.
Which now this is the intro to your Svengali pitch.
Yeah, that is the first trick that we would do in the pitch.
And how long is the actual demonstration, the full thing?
I would say 13 minutes,
13
because,
minutes.
well, it would be 15 if you count getting the money.
Hey, pull those things back out. I want you to.
Nobody ever says that to me.
I want you to do one finesse.
Okay, what's that?
There was a moment we were talking about earlier where all the cards changed to the same card.
Yeah,
You can demonstrate a couple ways. of
right.
handling it.
On the few occasions that somebody may want to show the whole deck as being one card, rather than flip through in their hands doing that,
Yeah.
they might do a spread on the table like that.
Yeah.
Where I think, yeah, that does look good. But what I watched David do and was always a lot stronger for me was to basically do them in your hand and then turn your hand over for a display like that. So they're all scattered out.
That's so good.
And I always felt that was stronger. It is more of a jaw dropper for your audience too, especially when you have just put them in somebody's hands and they saw all the same card. They can envision being able to do that fairly easily.
Yeah. Great tips for any that last thing. The display should be helpful for anyone that does Svengali work. That's not a commonplace display. Any other nuggets of Svengali?
Well, I mean, you could do it with anything with this short and long principle. If you were doing the mental photography deck the same way, flip, all blank all the way around. Yeah, there's not a whole lot of magic I think anybody does that if they find something that's really strong, they can apply it to some other trick. And I think we sell ourselves short if we don't pick up on the knowledge we use that's good and see where else we can exploit it.
Yeah, in fact, I think Vernon said it this way: magicians stop thinking too soon. We stop thinking too soon.
Well, just recently, well, I shouldn't say.
Well,
recently.
one second before we move on, I want to wrap this pitch. I wanted to show just a couple more moments here as we talk about how you might pitch this thing. You eventually go into talking, suggesting a bet. You can like bet your friends to win the.
Well, yeah, appealing to the larceny in your audience.
Yeah, right. We'll.
Deck, it's their card. They think that's a 2. They're going to break their arm going in. They think that's a 2. They're going to break their arm going into their pocket to cover. And don't laugh. I've seen them rip their underwear.
This guy's licking his chops. He's like, he knows he's going to get his friend for $10.
He's already paid for a watch. Lewis, turn the card over, please. We know it's a 7 of hearts, but here's the best part. Watch.
All right, Bobby Kimball with the sideway footage. Wrapping up this scene here, you asked people to buy decks. So, let's see. Let's get to the end of this thing.
One over here as well. I promise you'll be the hit of the party. They'll hit you with tape down here. I don't blame you. One over here as well. I promise you'll be the hit of the party.
Do you use shills to buy deck, or is this all natural?
I have, but usually I don't. This is all natural. And the joke that I loved that didn't finish out in there was that's a $20 bill. Did you say keep the change? And when they go, no, I never do. Or sometimes when we're selling them for $10, they'd put a 20 up there and I'd pick it up and I'd put 2 decks of cards down.
Yeah. No, right. You're pitching that.
And like sometimes they only want one and other times they only wanted one, but now that they got 2, they don't want to argue about it. And then some, but if they mention it, I'll give them change. But when you put it out there, oh, what the hell? I'll give one to Frank or whoever,
I want to talk about this trick. You say that you sell a Svengali deck for $10, but you also give them this, the 2-card Monte.
When I have them.
Sometimes not, then, not always.
Yeah.
Okay. So following your lead in my last attempt to pitch Svengali decks, a horrible disaster. It's not in my blood. I did put some of these together, and I'm now wondering if I had the knowledge you have, maybe I would have known what to do with it. So today, live on YouTube, I'm going to ask you for that knowledge. What do I do with 2-card Monte when I'm pitching Svengalis?
Well, I got to stand up for this.
All right.
I know I was getting older when I grown both standing up and sitting down. Here's a neat little trick. You go up to a friend and you show them 2 cards. So it's an easy one. You put these in your wallet. You show them you got a 7 of diamonds and a 4 of clubs. A 4 and a 7. Now, Doug, if I take that 7 and put it behind my back, what's that leave?
The 4.
Okay, you need to pay attention here.
What?
Yeah, well, here's the 4. Here's the 7 over here. Now, since you mentioned the 4 and you didn't mention the 7, I'll take the 4 away. What's that leave?
7.
You're not watching. Now, here's what's great about this. You go up to your friend. You have friends, don't you?
I have some.
I'm surprised. You show the 7 and the 4 and the 7. Now, bet him $1 he can't tell you what's left. If he says the 4, you win. If he happens to say the 7, you still win. Now, watch. Here's how that works. And I'll show you something really amazing with just these 2 cards in a minute. We'll look at the 2 cards. This one has 2 backs. Okay.
Exposure.
Yeah,
Exposure.
Yeah. Now, for a 2-card Monte. Now, this one has 2 faces. Kind of reminds me
So
of
you
most
exposed
politicians.
the trick during the pitch.
Yeah.
Okay.
But here, as experience in a bartender, and I've actually done this. You'll have a regular come in. They're a nice guy, but they've had too many tonight. I pull this out and show them the 2 cards and go, if you can tell me what card's left, your next drink's on me. If not, we'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah.
And
buddy.
so you have a peaceful way of getting someone out of the bar, but once again, this would be irregular. But that's not even when I'm selling them, but a general idea. And I said, now normally at the magic shops they sell those for $5. At the end of the demonstration, I'm going to show you how to get one of those free. Okay, and then I would go into the Svengali pitch, and at the end say, remember that 2-card trick I showed you at the beginning? If you get a deck for as long as these last, we're going to give you one of those. If you don't want the deck and you just want those, they are still $4. So you don't care whether anybody buys them or not.
Does anyone ever buy it for $4?
No. But
It's the small, middle, large theory.
But I am quite sure that I've had people that bought the deck just because they wanted that trick. They may not have given a damn about the deck, but they feel bad about paying $4 for 2 cards.
Right.
They don't feel bad about paying $10 for everything.
The presentation suggests you can win bets. And this is more, you're appealing to the larceny. So even if they don't want to do magic, they can win.
Right.
You influenced me. I'm going to add this, and let me go talk about this giveaway we're doing today. Let me get this close up here. We're giving away some things today. First and foremost, hey, look what Warpo brought. He brought a few things today. I'm going to talk about more of them next week. This is Warpo's lecture notes from, how old did you say these were? 10 years old?
Probably around 13. Whenever I did my first lecture in Detroit.
Old enough when spiral bounding was fine to print that way. So we're going to give away these today. And I thought since Warpo's here, we'll throw in a Svengali deck, because Warpo's doing the Svengali deck.
But wait, there's more.
I thought, why not include the $4 value for free? So you're also going to get the 2-card Monte. And then as I was putting the 2-card Monte in this package, I said I should start including 2-card Montes in my card shark combo deal, which we offer at con games. And now by mentioning this, I get a commercial in. This is the package we're giving away. Warpo's lecture notes.
Those retail for $10 at the other lectures.
Worth literally half the value here today on YouTube. And yeah, we're going to do a little giveaway. You're going to get all this. And hey, if you don't win something, as always, you keep us in mind at Con Games. You can go buy what's $22. And I'm going to start including these. I haven't, but why not? I've got 50.
I'd get one myself. I didn't have so damn many.
That's the theory. All right. So here we're going to make this a challenging giveaway. Let me get the giveaway tool up here. We're going to test your spelling skills. You guys that have watched before, you know how this works. We go to the giveaway tool, we select and we type in a word, and the word, and I'm going to type it now, is Svengali. And if you didn't see how to spell it, oh, I guess you can see it now. Never mind. I thought maybe the spelling would be challenging. We're going to collect comments. Svengali is the word you're going to type for the next 2 minutes, and then we're going to draw a winner for the Card Shark combo, Warpo's lecture notes, and the invaluable Two Card Monte. Let's answer this question while we wait. How did we meet, Warpo?
Like I said, I don't remember the actual meeting.
I'm quite sure it was a questionable bar in the French Quarter.
It could have been the French Market.
It was probably that, because here's what it would happen. I'd be street performing in the French Quarter, and someone would say, hey, you know, someone's selling Svengali decks in the French Market. I'm sure I hobbled myself up there to meet you guys.
But I remember more the evening that we met. As I said, I was living above Checkpoint Charlie's on the 3rd floor, and you came in and just blew my mind with a Jay Sankey effect, a borrowed ring on a borrowed dollar bill.
Oh, yeah, divorce. I was doing all that hot late 80s Jay Sankey material.
But it threw me off. I was impressed.
Hey, that's a good trick. I think of doing it.
And I've never seen you do it since.
I have that trick on my shelf. I have talked about it recently. Yeah, it only counts once. If you type it in again and again, it's good for the algorithm, though, so we don't hate you for that. But, yes, indeed. Did we miss any Svengali tips you want to say before we leave this subject after giving the prize away? Is there anything else you can think of that people need to know?
I'd have an easier time answering questions that I didn't cover if I.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's a whole lot that I didn't cover, but who knows? I may release my Svengali video again and make improvements on it. And when that time comes, I'll ask for money.
I'm going to twist your arm to, be part of that that documentation. And we've made efforts, and I'd love to maybe even just get you out to the Jackson Square and you just do a hardcore pitch in the wild.
Yeah, but that's a difficult thing. First of all, since I don't have a business license to be out there, you can't just sell them.
Yeah, but what if we Rambo it, Warpo? Just hit and run like old schools.
Have a hell of a time keeping everybody working without throwing in something that we know is illegal ahead of time. And
okay, Warpo's a rule follower.
No, I'm not.
No, I'm not.
All right. But I want everybody to still be working instead of, no, we've had guys out here before, so you can't work here either because this guy screwed it up.
This is my thoughtful friend who cares about people that he's around. I don't want to ruin it for other people. We're going to give this away in 3, 2, draw. Good luck, everyone. Look at all the kindred spirits here today. So nice to see all those names. I would be happy for any one of those to. Gary Henderson.
Hey, congratulations, Gary.
Love that Gary wins a prize. Gary and Warpo, as Warpo came to my house today. Hey, Gary. I love you winning, man. Warpo came to my house with a bag of things, including his lecture notes. And he also did this. He said, I saw that someone gave you a copy of Expert at the Card Table, and you're going to start giving books away. I had an extra one, and you can have it. I'm doing Warpo. Warpo. But Gary is the one who sent the Expert at the Card Table. So he was the one that inspired me to do this scholarship thing I have in my brain. And how great that you get instant karma. Pow!
Well, I also saw that in there, Christopher Berry put a hello, Chris.
Hey, Chris.
Put in for the drawing. I thought he already has the damn notes. He got them back when I first put them out up in Detroit. So
he knows their value on
well, I say Detroit, but it was either I think it was Mount Clemens or
congrats, Gary Henderson.
Yes, congrats.
All right. So yeah, you were saying probably a good course of action would be for people to ask questions about things they might want you to know. So we're going to do some of that for sure. Oh, I got to mention this giveaway. If you are looking for this dice giveaway, the linking dice that I mentioned last week with Alexander the Magician, I'm going to do this next week. If you haven't commented on last week's live, you have an extra week to get a comment in. When Warpo was here and he said he had giveaways, I just went that direction, and we'll just give away the Hanson Chin.
Yeah, I basically just screwed it up for all the dice people that may be tuning in.
All three of them.
Yeah.
Right. I was going to pivot into that dice niche, but you ruined that for me. All right, what else did I have on my list? Matthew Mosley had asked this question, and this is a good lead into street performing. Mm-hmm. Matthew asked, where can we see you perform, Warpo?
Basically not very often.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get out much anymore.
But that's not totally true, because we hang out about 2 weeks ago. Where was that?
Yeah, that was 2 weeks ago at the Always Lounge.
Mm-hmm.
And 2 weeks ago. I have not performed since then. And then it was a long time. So
I was at after your show. I enjoyed that night so much. Jimmy Ferrister was in town, and I said, you want to do something New Orleans? Let's go to the Always. And we went there and watched another show when Jimmy was in town. So,
awesome.
Yeah, it is awesome.
But actually, the best way to do it, I'd say, if I know it's going to be worth the trouble to go downstairs and stuff. If you and some friends were in town and wanted to see something, well, you hit me up on Facebook and say, we really like to see something and we're going to tip well. Then I know it's maybe worth coming down.
But by appointment. I'm street performing by appointment.
Yeah, no, basically. But I mean, my back hurts a lot anymore to go out there and stand around for 2 hours when I may or may not get a crowd. It just physically it just hurts too much.
How old are you now?
I'll be 65 in May.
So you're entering a time of age where maybe, I feel it myself. I'm less enamored with working outdoors and et cetera, and the rigmarole.
But I mean, basically, there's still been plenty of occasions that friends and friends of friends that have come into town and been told to get in touch with me. Well, then drop by the apartment and we'll sit around and have a good time. Right. And I will do magic there.
Go visit the Wizard's Tower.
Yeah.
That's a good suggestion.
So, yeah, it's on that. It's get to know me. And then I don't have to leave the apartment.
Gary says you're a youngster, Warpo. He's got 10 years on you. So.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, I was around when the Dead Sea was just starting to get sick.
I was reading a Facebook thread today about how elegantly us Magi can do our art later in life. And even as you might not be working the streets, you're still rock a show.
Yeah, within the last 3 years. Okay. When the pandemic started, and so nobody was working for a while there. You couldn't.
No, unless you went to TikTok.
Yeah, and then some arthritis came in my left hand. I can't do coin tricks at all anymore. I decided to do a little bit more looking at, okay, what am I capable of? And I started working on, of all things, the color vision box.
Oh, I've seen this routine.
Yeah.
The piece of the piece of crap.
Yeah, but I use another word instead of crap. But the thing is I worked diligently on it for a couple of years. I practiced taking the lid off and putting the lid on the box and making it look the same each time. And my goal was to turn it into a closer. And I think I've done it.
I love that routine. And certainly for, an audience that wants to see a Warpo magic show, it's a great routine.
And again, it's not anything that would work well in this kind of forum. It's a live thing. It's a personal connection as you're doing that, and which is my favorite kind of magic. which is another reason that I don't have a strong internet connection, is because what I feel I'm best at doesn't transfer
Is
over.
magic a live art performance? That's what magic is.
It's
a performance art meant to be seen live.
It's an emotional attachment as it's happening. And I don't think I can come through on the internet near as well as I can in person.
We'll let the audience be the judge of that.
Yeah, that are watching on the internet.
You know, you talk about having some challenges with arthritis setting in. I know Kindred Spirit Gary has had similar challenges. You've endured. You did a card trick for me before the show. Can I talk you into doing one more piece of magic for us today?
Sure.
What? Yes. Okay, this is taking me off the hook. Normally, I'm the one that has to do all the tricking. Oh, hold on. Let me hit the button. Let me go back over here and be a little more semi-professional. We'll see if the button works. Yeah, okay.
Well,
This is going to be kind of our area.
again, I'll stand up.
All right. Warpo's doing more magic for us, y'all. And look, I don't want anyone complaining about they can't do sleight of hand after seeing this.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if I'd call this sleight of hand.
Let's see if we get through it.
I don't know if I'd call it sleight of hand either.
Oh.
But I also noticed last week when Alex was on, somebody asked if did any packet tricks. And this one is one that I used when I wanted to do a shorter show. This was actually my finale on my street show. If I didn't have a big enough crowd to get all enthused about the
I get it. This is your B show, maybe.
Well, not necessarily B show, but it's the shorter show.
Okay, then.
And these are marked cards, and I tell you that before we start, you know, and that's why I keep them separate. You can tell by the markings on this one, it's a 10 of diamonds. Okay. Yeah, it doesn't stop there, though. We've got the 10, the jack, the queen, and the king of diamonds. Now watch. If I take those and I give them a tap, well, the 10 will turn face down. And I know that's the 10 because, as I mentioned before, the cards are marked. The king, the 10, the queen, and the jack. Now watch. If we give them another tap, of course, the 10 will come face up. But I do want to point out that now you can see the king is face down. And again, we know that's the king because of the oh, I'm sorry, I misread the markings. That's not the king, that's the jack. Because there's the king, there's the queen, and there's the 10.
Cool.
Yeah, let's have a little review, shall we? Watch. We've got the 10, the jack, the queen, and the king. I don't know, did you see the markings on the backs?
I thought I did.
Okay, I'll ask an easier question. What are the color of the backs?
Blue.
Okay, you're not watching. See, first of all, they're red.
What?
And I would have thought, sure, you saw the markings there. I tried to make them relatively clear. 10D, that, of course, would be the 10 of diamonds. The JD would be the jack of diamonds. The QD would be the queen of diamonds. And, of course, the king of diamonds. You have 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are the marked cards. Ooh.
Pretty good for an old guy with arthritis and stuff.
See, you should carry those. I'll put some together for you if
You
you
know
want
what?
to sell those.
Yeah. We'll talk afterwards. Someone asked me about color changing twist routine, and that's exactly the routine that came to mind when I was talking about, hey, Frank, if you're watching this, I'm talking about you. We were in the Discord with the members. If you haven't joined the membership, this is my advertisement. Join the membership. We have hangouts, and they're fun sometimes. He was talking about a twist routine where the cards changed colors or to a different card. That's the one that came to mind.
And again, emphasizing the lack of real dexterity needed for that. You don't need dexterity.
I forgot how simple that handling is. There's a few ways you could go with this style. A Scanio spread is an option, but that handling is pretty simple.
Now, that trick, the derivation, it first came from John Cornelius. back when he was working for David Walker.
Okay,
And
hold on a second.
Oh, yes.
I'm locking in some sales right now. Okay, Jimmy's down for one. Gary's buying one. Alex just wants to know if I'm going to be on Discord. If I didn't have guests in the house, I would. But here's what we're going to do after the live today.
What are they buying?
All these marks you're going to make for me.
Oh,
Thanks, Warpo. So I won't be on Discord today because we're going to have dinner and stuff after this. But I'm every Monday at about 8 p.m. I'm on the live, and I am going to make Wednesday a day where I am the Discord on the Discord more. But just today won't be that because this guy's here. And hey,
sorry I screwed that up for the people that were really looking forward to it.
It's not, I mean, I say Mondays I'll be there. I'll be there Monday every time. Today.
Come Monday,
And now I say,
right.
say Wednesday. Hey Ken, thanks for joining the membership. Appreciate it. What do you think? Next. All right, that's 3 and counting. All right, we've talked. Did we talk like a little bit of busking? Because you have an approach that's maybe a little different than people see all the time, like when they're thinking about being a busker. It's more similar to my style, where we're doing a sidewalk, more intimate experience.
Yeah, I definitely prefer the smaller crowds.
Yeah, you get a chance not just to maybe do the art you love. Close-up magic for me is what I love to do, so I get to do that. But also the money that comes with working these crowds, the intimate experiences we develop often compensate with bigger money.
In a way, and this is not fully representative, but I mean, if you did a blanket statement, it's like the large shows are basically, look at the neat stuff I can do. Please give me money for it because we know it's really cool.
Listen close here. I feel the gold.
Where within the confines of a small sidewalk show is, wow, look at the experience that we had together.
Right.
I hope you'll continue. I hope you'll toss a little bit my way so I can continue to do this. Yeah. So it's a different mindset, even when it comes to the money. You know, you're still asking for money, but it's more...
I shouldn't have gone right to the money. Because this street performing doesn't even have to be about that. It's just a different kind of experience, and it's high quality.
But I'm saying it's all in the mindset, even when it is the money. Mm-hmm. It's the difference between, isn't my show didn't I do stuff that was worth $20 as opposed to, wasn't this experience that we all got to enjoy worth a couple sandwiches?
Yeah.
Or the price of the last drink you bought down the street, or what? And for me personally, I think that's the reason when I was going at it for 15 years, doing the same damn show. And you could ask any of the other buskers around because they all had my show memorized.
Oh, I was one of them there. Yeah. I stood behind you plenty of times.
But I mean, so doing the same show for 15 years, but I did not get burnt out on it because every show, the experience with the audience members, when you have that kind of connection with them, with the smaller group, then each show is different. Not in the tricks you do, not in the jokes you tell, but in the responses you get from the people that you were working with. And Tom quoted me one time, a long time ago. He had
Tom
Britton,
who was on this experience a few weeks back.
But he took one of my profile pictures and then overlaid it with, it's never really about the trick. And to me, in that case, it's about the connection. If all you got are the tricks that you learned how to do and practiced real hard, you could go out there and you're still not going to make any money, and you're not going to have the experience that you want because you're not focused on also making the connections. I like going out there, and even if I screw up every single trick I do, people walk away knowing they had a good time and are not going to miss a chance to see the show again.
Right.
And next time you'll probably get it right. And now it's a whole different show for them just because you didn't screw up where you did the last one.
Well,
in addition to caring about your audience and wanting to provide these genuine moments, number one, start there, but you also have a deep character, an extended version of yourself. You have a unique point of view when you present your magic. It's not something that people have seen 100 times, right? It's,
No.
and I think this is important. Developing a character. Can you speak a little on that? Maybe like what is the Warpo point of view? Like, maybe can you give me?
Something that I was talking in your kitchen. I said, don't let me forget this, and you would have if I didn't remember it on my own.
Thank you.
But the people that are just starting out say, I've learned a few tricks. I want to go out there and I want to do a show. And so many people give them the advice of just be natural, be yourself. Okay, that's BS. First of all, the number one fear in American people is public speaking. That people are more afraid of that than they are of dying. So it's not natural to go out and stand up in front of people. Secondly, you start out by just greeting everybody that comes by. Hello, how you doing? How you doing tonight? And it's
Is
not
that what you do? Do you say you greet everyone that comes by?
No, I do my cigarettes, but I mean, when you first comes to getting out there to get used to things, just greet people, say hi, how you doing? And it's not natural. You're not being.
I see what you're saying.
You're not being yourself. If you were talking to every stranger that passes by, that is not natural. That is not being yourself.
Right.
Nobody is that way.
Right.
So, in one sense, being yourself and being natural is not the way to start off a show. However, you're relating to the people once they do stop should be you. And I won't even want to say natural on that, but it should be yourself. Don't greet them as somebody nicer than what you actually are.
It's hard to do something that's not organic, right? Like if I wanted to paint myself in clown face and go do card tricks, I'm going to have a hard time if I'm Bozo the Clown trying to do Doug Kahn magic. So I got to be Doug Kahn.
Right.
And I would suggest dialing yourself up. Like, you're not wearing this. He does look like this, but maybe not the time, right? Maybe it's a different hat. But Warpo is a living, but you just dialed it up a little bit today because you knew you were presenting yourself in a show environment, right? So you dial.
This is for more people than the one person sitting across from me, so I dial it up to reach.
But exactly what I was saying is the point. Here's Warpo. On, although it's not much different, but that's the idea. And in that case, you kind of are being natural. But yeah, when you start performing, I think here's the thing: just do it as much as you can, right?
Yeah.
Ingratiate an audience.
Well, the one thing about your first interaction, especially when you're working to smaller crowds, is that when you give a greeting, hey, how you doing? Their response will tell you whether you would want them to stop and watch.
Right. Yeah. You get information.
There's people that may be totally willing to watch your show, but they may be a drunken butthead and you don't want them there. Well, don't give them the invitation.
Let's look at two different openers. Hey, y'all, how you doing? Hey, y'all, how you doing? Hey, y'all, how you doing? Versus watch this, and now you do a trick.
Yeah, never do this at home.
So as opposed to using a direct magic moment, you have options of maybe just talking to people and getting feedback and proceeding.
Well, see, even with sticking the lit cigarette up the nose and out the mouth, I go by their reaction to that of whether I want to continue doing stuff for them, whether I want them to be around.
Right. You might discard the audience.
No, if the idea of somebody sticking fire into their face seems annoying or disgusting to that person, they're not going to tip.
Yeah.
And they're not going to be a good audience to encourage other people to say, what are they looking at? So yeah, you just do that and then give them a smile and a wave and carry on.
I'm your front row for that all day. All right, y'all. Look, 45 minutes in. You know I don't like going too long. I think we've done that already, but we're going to get some questions and maybe get some answers before we wrap this up. Before I ask you all what you want to ask, I'm going to ask Warpo, is there anything you want to talk about that we haven't talked about today?
Probably so, but I'm not remembering at this time.
That's fine, because it's like this. Like we talked for hours before we came on here. We could talk hours again, and I can see this happening in our future. We'll just pick a different
Well, in
subject
30
then.
years, we've had hundreds of hours of conversations.
It doesn't stop every time we're in each other's company. It's just nonstop convo. And there's
sometimes we even work on effects.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Oh, we want to see the Two Card Monte again. Let's default to the rewind. On that. The stream will be up afterwards, and you just watch it again. This isn't going anywhere. I also put the instructions up there too, so you can look at that. Oh, here's a good question from Ira. What do you close your show with?
Normally, it's a bastardized ambitious card that ends in a. This is actually a very good question because it went through some change with a waterfall into the hat.
Did you do the waterfall?
Sloppily.
This is on the
keeping
spot.
in mind I haven't been working that much again, having to stand up.
So a card has been selected and the audience has laughed for 10 minutes about the antics of the card.
The card is the Jack of Clubs, by the way. That's
and it's signed usually, right? It's signed at this point.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be a Jack because you forced the selection to be a low valued spot card. So the signature shows better. These are all things we could talk about.
Why originally when I first started performing, I did not force a card, but I wanted the signature to sign up. So I started forcing 5s and 10s.
Yeah.
So that when they wrote on it and I could repeat 5 and 10 over and over again.
Yes.
So at the end,
let's get it on the camera so people can see what we're doing.
I asked them whether they want the card on the table or in the deck, and it ends up going for the deck. And they says, well, when you say that just makes this
boom
look that much better. Now, when I first started doing my show, I didn't put the cards, have the cards go into my hat. I was catching them in my hand. Now, when you do that, you never catch all of them. You're always dropping a few. And it was Kevin Lapine, who he's got a long-running hypnosis show at I think Four Queens in Las Vegas. Kevin
Lapine
is just awesome. But he recommended using the hat, and I thought how wonderful that is, because at the end of that, after I do the waterfall and I'm handing their card back to them, I'm also setting my hat on the table. In other words, the give and take within the same motion.
Right.
And you drop less cards when you're letting them fall into the hat. And that was a real epiphany for me.
Here's how Warpo answers questions. They take 5 minutes each. Let's get some more.
Sorry about that.
Thank you, Jeff. We were having fun here. Do you prefer busking or official performances?
Official. I love street performing. Because nobody is coming there to see you. And then by the time your show's over, everybody was so glad they did, as opposed to, let's go see this guy.
When the street performing is good, it's the best. There's nothing.
It's better than sex. I
don't know about that. How long is your typical street show? Probably have an exact answer. How long is your street show?
It should last about 20 minutes.
20 minutes.
Yeah.
So you're doing cigarettes, coins, ropes.
No coins anymore.
But you did.
Yeah.
And then you do a card set.
Yeah.
Cards, coins, ropes. All right. I feel like we're winding down here. We'll stick around for another minute or two. Grab any last questions that anyone would have wanted to get in. Hey, good to see Scott Smith. Good to see Tim here today.
Doc Yoder, I keep waiting for you to show up in New Orleans anytime now, man. Where you at? Come on down. It's season. Jeff. And Jason Lieb. Jason's a pitchman from back in the day. He used to work at Magic Masters with me. Did you know Jason Warpo?
I think so. He was part of the second deal? Did he start that?
Oh no, different Jason.
No, that's Jason Alfred.
But yeah. But good company to be around.
Yeah.
Ed McGowan, what's up, dude? Hey Ed, I'm going to be in Tampa at the Festival of Magic in May. If you're able to make it to
You're
that.
driving down there?
I am.
Can I go with you?
You want to go to Tampa? It depends if I take the wife. She might come with me. If she goes, no. But if not, maybe.
Okay.
Remind me. Timing is everything. We're wrapping up here, Ed. Let's get a little bit of information about the French Quarter. That's something that Doc has asked about. You've lived in the French Quarter forever. What would you say, if someone's coming to the French Quarter, what should they know? Just average French Quarter advice.
Not as a performer, but just
maybe
for
you could do
visiting.
a twofer. If you're, let's say performers first. I'm a performer. I want to street perform in New Orleans. What should I know?
Stay away from Bourbon Street, and that applies to both performers. And the attention span and dealing with drunks on bourbon is very, very difficult. You may make some money. I'm not saying that you won't make any money.
Right.
But it won't be a fun experience.
It's horrible. It's dirty, but you can't make money. What I do is when I need money and I don't make it in the day, I go there and I hate myself. But yeah, you're right. Good advice. Bourbon Street is you. What's not you? Where do you go?
Actually, if you find a nice little pitch on Royal
Street,
it used to be. But then again, I'll still say the pitches I work because they're the most comfortable
we talk
for
about
me.
You work late. You'll work nights sometimes 9, 10, 11.
Yeah, in the summers particularly, I used to go out at 9 on a regular basis.
9 p.m. because it's hot here. It's insanely hot.
Yeah. So and then it got to the point like in July, and oddly enough, in the heat of down here when everybody's out of town, I have made damn good money in July working from 11 o'clock until 1 in the morning. Just those
1 in the morning.
Just those 2 hours, I got more than when I'd work 6 hours in a day. Once again, because you're making that connection.
Right.
The people that have been inside because it's hot and sticky all day, and now it's still hot, but it's cool enough to go out.
Yeah,
and I'm the only game in town.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
You don't have all the other rigmarole of the French Quarter.
No,
that's what I would
pass me the box. I'll put.
I was going to say, watch yourself in the French Quarter. There's a lot of rigmarole, but I wasn't answering the question. All right, I think we're done. I think we've answered the pertinent questions. We had a good time. We did magic. Thank you for doing all of it.
Indeed.
Took the pressure off me today. We gave away some wonderful things to a good guy. Congratulations, Gary Henderson. And did I miss anything else?
Probably missed a lot, but we're not going to take the time to go through it now.
Nope, we're not. Leave
If
a question in the
somebody wants me
comments.
back, they can say so, and if they don't, then that's okay.
We answer questions in the comments. Hey, Joe, it's been a pleasure to see you as well, and you are all quite welcome. Thanks for the hang, y'all. On the radar, I've got some hangs coming up with the SAM group. That's going to be in the next week or two. We're going to be talking about the national convention coming up, and then moving forward, I'll be setting my sights on St. Louis, Missouri for the senior tour gathering. If you're not familiar with that, Google the Senior Tour Magic Conventions. That's where I'll be in 3 weeks, and I hope to see some kindred spirits there. That's the scoop from Com Universe. Once again, Warpo, thank you for being part of the jam, and it's going to be ciao for now, y'all. Peace.